In this week's title, you're thrown into the role of a manager at a growing fast food burger joint. And of course, you have to manage the stockage levels of the food supplies. Now, I thought I'd put in a supply request yesterday. I wonder where all the resupplies... What the? They just dumped all my burger patties out in the street? How am I gonna get this all cleaned up now?
What the heck?
And this is our review of Corner Kitchen Fast Food Simulator.
I'd like to thank the publisher for providing me a review copy of the game.
It was developed by
Applehead Games
and published by
Ultimate Games. This simulation game right here, released on February 10th to the PlayStation Store for the price of $14.99. I don't know if you've noticed, or if you even care, but there has been a recent surge in management simulator games. As much as I truly want to hate them, I kind of actually enjoy playing them. And I can't really put my finger on it quite yet, but it really scratches that itch that just feels right. And once I start scratching, I just can't stop. I'll admit, part of it is the fact that most of my game time is spent surrounded by the wife and kids, so I'm constantly having interruptions and someone
Hey Dad, come here for a second.
talking to me or pulling me away from the game about every 15 minutes. Having a shallow game that I can just jump in and out of real quick is pretty appealing to me right now. Last month, we took a look at Tavern Manager, and I'm still finishing up the PS5 version right now. Corner Kitchen does many of the same restaurant manager rule sets, putting you directly responsible for managing the point-of-sale registers, ordering and stocking the supplies, cooking and serving the food. You know, running a restaurant. Does that sound like a lot? Well, it is. And that's just the beginning. As you build the resources, you have the ability to expand your operation, purchase furniture, and dress things up a little bit with new flooring and wall dressings to attract more customers. And yes, of course, hire staff.
You better hire somebody. I ain't sweeping all these floors myself.
Yeah, starting out, running the front end and the back end is a bit complicated. As you keep plugging away, you'll gain some resources and be able to obtain the needed help. Thankfully, Corner Kitchen Manager handles this better than Tavern Manager, as your employees not only look like NPCs and not just little glowing light balls. Lame. And hiring is a bit more selective, as each one comes with their own strengths and weaknesses, which also affects their pay rate. It's real life, right? Because you ain't gonna hire them on their personality, because they ain't got none. I can understand why they didn't spend any resources on making the NPCs overly interactive. That's fine. The entire game is a huge grind as you purchase materials, assemble them, and resell the goods to obtain more resources. Which you could probably already see in the circle form. Which ultimately leads you to expand your facility and buy more storage and processing stations. This whole hamster wheel effect creates a feeling of rapid success, which I believe is much of what has made the Sim series so popular over the years. The rapid progress provides you with a quick feeling of getting ahead in life, which normally usually takes years in the real world. Beyond cash, you'll gain XP, which unlocks some new food stations, upgrades, and expansions that continue to feel like I was super close to unlocking the next big thing. And this is a dangerous thing, because it kept me from putting the controller down when I actually probably should have.
Are you done with your game yet? It's time for bed.
Somehow I sunk 20 hours into this beast. Once I obtained all the level upgrades, and the game drifted into this weird end game where I hired the max number of employees and I had clerks running 3 registers, 4 burger cooks and a hot dog and a fry guy, even a couple staff just to walk around and clean up after everyone. It quickly became a full house. I cannot downplay the importance of the cooks, as I leaned on them pretty heavy to keep cranking out the burgers. But the real star of the show here is the middlemen, my little logisticians, the runners. These guys just ran around delivering resupplies to my cooks and restocking the shelves. When you have all 5 cooks burning through burger patties, buns, pickles, ketchup, mayonnaise, lettuce, tomatoes, cheese, and onions, the whole operation would come to a screeching halt halt without these little behind-the-scenes miracle workers. Of course, the runners are completely reliant on the supply chain delivering the goods to the drop-off point, which eventually got way out of hand and filled the whole backstreet with thousands of food supplies. And that, my friend, is where I spent the last 10 hours of my gameplay. Just monitoring supply levels and backfilling supply counts to ensure that all the employees could continue to do what they do best, which is work. So I watched the supply chain and they carried out all the dirty work. In between the order cycles, I ran around and did help fill in for employee breaks and refilled stocks where my runners couldn't keep up. But for the most part in the end game, you just sit back and manage the supply stockage. And obviously this isn't going to be any sort of quick, easy completion for you trophy hunters out there. Trophies for this title did come naturally over the first 10 hours, leaving you with the one outlier. Cook 10,000 burgers. Yeah, 10,000 burgers. What the fuck? And that's really what kept me playing for another 10 hours, just trying to meet this unlikely goal. I don't know if they put an extra zero in there or what. It's crazy. I eventually changed my strategy and stopped selling drinks, hot dogs, and fries, and limited my burger output to just the corner tasty burgers, which really just requires the least amount of stock materials and prep time for my cooks to crank them out. It was still annoying to not have a counter or tracker of the percentage of my progress towards the trophy, which had me second guessing how I was spending my evenings. But you know what? It eventually popped, mysteriously.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Which brought my gameplay to a close, without any sort of New Game Plus or additional reason for me to continue playing. Games like these just drag on, without any real ending or reason to continue playing. Which really is a bummer, because I felt like I really enjoyed running this little madhouse, even more than I originally thought I would for a restaurant management simulator. Maybe I should look at my career future in the burger business.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Therefore, I gave the old Corner Kitchen Cafe 3.5.
Just beans out of 5.
Yeah, well, that wraps up that review right there. Here's some notes I took. Where I put the keys to the truck. So, you know, we make these new review videos every week, so if you're an indie developer or there's something you want to see, or maybe something you don't want to see, and if you haven't noticed, I've been working with select publishers this year. Feel free to reach out if you're interested in adding your game to our future reviews. Be sure to visit again next week
as we continue to take humorous stabs at some of the industry's new and upcoming titles.
From Taioki.
Stay safe out there. We'll see you next time on The Frog.
PlayStation. Hey, Dad! Dad! Oh, Dad!